Sam Dunn's all-new podcast, Caught in a Rant. Available now, exclusively on Patreon.
Fucking kudos. I never get sick of listening to that part. I'll shut up now. Love it. But you know the part I'm talking about. You know the part.
Yeah, that's a heavy part.
And it just, it holds off, man. I credit you guys.
Howdy, Banger pals. Blayne Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. I'm back talking about heavy metal again. Yeah, apparently the guy that just talks about black and death metal is now just talking about heavy metal. I don't know. Well, here's some heavy metal for you. Yes, today we're looking at a little heavy metal from Canada. It's Gatekeeper with their album From Western Shores, out March 24th, 2023 on Cruz del Sur Music, of course. Gatekeeper would technically start as a solo project by guitarist Jeff Black in 2009 while he was living in Edmonton. It would, however, take a relocation to Vancouver, the addition of some more members, the mix-up of the members, the switching out of some members, before we would get our first full-length release from Gatekeeper in 2009 with East of Sun. In true Gatekeeper tradition, we've got some more member shakeups. We've got some new members. We've got Adam Bergen joining Jeff Black in the guitar position, and we've got a new vocalist in Tyler Anderson. Those are two big positions to switch out between records that'll really affect a sound. How do the new boys fare? Let's find out. Thankfully, both our new additions really show up. Our vocalist, Tyler Anderson, has an extremely folkish, I'm going to go with folkish quality to his voice that's obviously a great fit for epic heavy metal. This makes sense considering he's coming from a power metal background. He has a range of sound comparisons that people have tossed out, so I'm going to avoid any of theirs. I'm going to say he's got some full-on X going on. He sounds a little bit like Sean Buchanan from Mega Colossus, who's a Metal Monthly alumni that I've talked about in the past, and he's even reminiscent of Harry Johansson from Tear fame a little bit there. So if any of those appeal to you, you're covered in the vocal department. On the Adam Bergen side, despite the album being a kind of more mid-tempoed thing that you get with epic heavy metal, he manages to jam enough guitar action to keep even the most needy children entertained. Those needy children are me. I want a lot of guitar action happening, and I don't really like mid-tempoed stuff. So mission accomplished here. You can hear a little bit of everyone kind of flexing their stuff from the track Twisted Towers that I'll play for you now.
Revelations are weeping, crimson tears.
Have I seen you somewhere before? Oh, I just have one of those faces. The album definitely has one of those faces. When we first heard a track on my Twitch stream, because as a reminder, I research Metal Monthly every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch live. So twitch.tv/metalcomedy. You can see every album coming out 1 month in the future. Anyways, where was I? Oh, yeah. Everyone was like, hey, this part sounds like X. This part sounds like Y. It's very familiar territory on the record. It's not the easiest genre to sound original in, but I don't think there's any idea here that hasn't been pretty heavily explored before. No genre pushing, no new ground covered, just familiar places, familiar faces. It does mean that nothing on the record really rubs you the wrong way, but if I was a judge on a skill-based reality competition television show of your choice, cooking, glass blowing, drag, fashion, whatever, I would say you're playing it safe and give the band a bit of a talking. Last time I was talking to you about heavy metal here, I was a little cheesed with a certain band for closing out a record with a Babe Eternal. Thankfully, that is a note Gatekeeper did not copy. Things start very powerful with Western Shores into Death on Black Wings, with the latter even having one of those big album/show closeout moments of everybody going nuts. Bah, 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 before immediately going into track 3. And album closer, Keeper of the Gates, is suitably grand. It's a big epic. And it wasn't until I wrote this sentence that I realized it's 8.5 minutes. What the hell? That is too long for a song. But I actually don't think it's too long because they jammed enough stuff in there that it really breezes by. So combine those 3 tracks with Twisted Tower Dire that I talked about early, and you have 4 really solid songs. The other 4 songs probably could use a little pep in their step in comparison. But again, I go on about it a lot. But album structure, because of the way things are structured, it's really easy to kind of gloss over the 4 tracks that aren't as strong and just be left with the impression of those really great songs. If this had been the exact same record, but with just a short, slow song in the track 9 position, I would have been left feeling, blah, oh God, I got to play this record again to review it. Whereas here, I'm going through it and I have all this energy and I go, oh man, it's done already. I got to listen to it again. And I'm surprised I feel that way at the end of the record because it's almost 50 minutes and I don't want a heavy metal record that long usually, but it really breezes by here. My final point is coming up after the Patreon plug, because there's a Patreon plug here, because of course we have a Patreon campaign which gives us the money to make this content and not have to fill it with ads. And hey, you get stuff too, like a shout out in this spot if you support the campaign. Dan from FORETOKEN is a big supporter. We really appreciate it, and he just wanted to let you know about his new record. It's a epic death metal album. It's melodic. It's Amon Amarth-esque, big battle-y stuff, so fits well with this record we've been talking about, Gatekeeper. It came out today, March 17th on Prosthetic Records. Another perk you can get from the Patreon campaign is a tip sheet from each of the Banger members. When we're excited about records, we fill out a tip sheet every month. And I actually had already put the FORETOKEN record on there without realizing that Dan was a Patreon supporter. So, cool. While I do love Tyler's vocal performance, the content still needs a bit of work. I'm not sure who's writing the lyrics, whether it's Tyler, Jeff, the collective whole, but we need to zhuzh up the vocab a bit. It's heavy metal in 2023. We've talked about battles a lot up until this point. A lot. So you gotta come at this stuff from a different angle. You can't be attacking it head on. You're gonna get slaughtered. I will say at least one song says scimitar, so you've got a curvy sword in there, but can we leave Odin to the Europeans? I mean, I don't feel a connection to Odin. I'd have to get on a plane and take a flight to have a connection to Odin. Let's leave that to them. Or let's just never say Odin again. I've reached the Odin quota for my life. I'm cool never hearing that word again. Again, nothing on the album is making me cringe. Nothing's particularly bad. Nothing's a groaner. It's just kind of there. You'll see what I'll play a clip. You'll see what I mean. So a few weeks ago, Megaton Sword made a record that sounded very original that I did not enjoy. This week, Gatekeeper has made a record that I've heard before, but I wasn't mad the first time I heard it, and I'm not mad now. So how do those two things compare? What I'd say is that if Gatekeeper and Megaton Sword were playing shows on the same night, I would go to the Megaton Sword show. But if I'm choosing between this record and Might and Power, I'll take this record every time for sure. I hope this lineup sticks together because while I was a little critical on the record, I do feel that this is an absolute fantastic foundation to build upon. You've laid a good groundwork of a record. Now, just kind of a little spike of originality here and there, and you'd have a really powerful band. So I enjoy this record. I'm happy with it, and I'm begging the band, this group stay together, put out a new record in a couple of years, and I'm sure I'll give it a glowing review. For now, I am giving a warm and glowing 3 out of 5 tower skulls to the record. But hey, closing things out, of course, we've got shoutout time. We already had one shoutout in the FORETOKEN record, which I do think you'll enjoy if you like this record, because while it might be death metal, it's that, epic-y, badly death metal. If you'd like some power metal, Frozen Crown just put out Call of the North on Scarlet Records. And hey, I thought the last Frozen Crown record was a misstep, and I figured, bye-bye, Frozen Crown. But then they released maybe the best Frozen Crown record. So that's your destination for power metal. And if you just want more heavy metal, Night Demons Outsider on Century Media Records is also great. That's been the shoutouts. What did you think of the record? Was I too harsh? Was I too nice? What heavy metal are you listening to? I feel like I haven't had a lot of great heavy metal recently. It's been a little slow for heavy metal. The best heavy metal I've heard was Alberto Simonini's Moon Twice, which is an Italian record that came out in 1996. So what are you listening to? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you down there. That's been Blayne Smith. Peace out. Gone.
Strike out, for we shall roll.